Welcome to this video tutorial. I'm going to share with you a 10 out of 10 student answer from paper 3 question 5, which is a theory and methods question. So if you want to know what a cracking answer looks like, please keep watching, and at the end I will give you the lowdown from the examiner report, which is really essential if you are wanting to get that A star that you deserve. This is the question that we're going to focus on, and I'll share with you the answer from a student that got 10 out of 10 and ended up getting an A star on the mock exam that we did in January. And as always, massive thank you for watching. If you do like what you see, please click that like button, and I'm doing videos all of the time, so if you want to get notified, please click that subscribe button. So let's have a look at that student answer. So this student answer, as you can see visually, you can see it is a chunky paragraph. So we know it's going to be bursting with knowledge, application and analysis. They start the answer addressing the ethical issue, because that's what the question is asking, and identify deception. And they then explain what deception means, and that gets you that AO1 marks. To get the AO2 marks, this is where you've got to apply it to an example of what the question is asking. In this case, a primary quantitative method, and the student uses milligram as an example of an experiment. And they explain as part of that experiment where the deception is within it. So these people who were the participants, they did not realise that they were administering fake electric shocks. They believed that they were real. Then the student shows a bit of analysis. Now I just want to mention that on a 10 marker where there is not an item, it's an outline and explain 10 marker, you will not get marks for evaluation, only analysis. That can be linking ideas or concepts together, or even looking at things from a different angle, or looking at the effect of something, or being critically analytic. So what this student does is links this idea of deception being actually quite necessary and really important in order to gain truthful, valid data. And this was necessary in Milgram's study because it needed to avoid the Hawthorne effect, where people would act differently because they know that they're being researched. And then the student finally ends the paragraph by offering a solution to this ethical problem, which could be: let's debrief the participants after the study with the aims and objectives, just to minimise that deception. Moving on to the second paragraph, again visually you can see it is another chunky paragraph. It's probably the same size as the first paragraph as well, so we know that the student has given quite a well-balanced answer, and they start by following exactly the same structure. There's no secret really in order to answer these questions. So starting off with the second ethical issue, in this case is the importance of protecting from harm or long-term effects of the research, and they explain what that issue is to gain that AO1 marks. They then move on by applying it to an example of a primary quantitative method. In this case, they're looking at a field experiment, which is Rosenthal's and Jacobson's, into the late bloomers, the spurters, into the self-fulfilling prophecy research. And they apply the concept of psychological harm, in this case, to back up the point that has been given. Analysis logically flows once again that despite the possible harm, it is necessary in order to achieve validity, and we need to make sure that it is reflecting of the real life behaviour as if it's real. And they end with a little bit of a judgment by suggesting that it is necessary to have that control group and treat that control group differently in order to see that cause and effect. So checking out the mark scheme, and it really shows that this answer has got very good knowledge and understanding of two ethical issues. Its application of relevant material means that it is using examples of primary quantitative methods to back up the ethical issues that has been identified, and the student that I just showed you used specific studies. And appropriate analysis, for example, complying with ethical guidelines, might impact theoretical or practical considerations. And again, something that students did demonstrate in both of the paragraphs. And the indicative content, including the relevant examples of studies that use primary quantitative methods. You will note that some of these studies that you may cover are in psychology, however, they have also been credited, so just make sure that you are aware of that also. On marking this answer in the mock exam, and this is what a student was able to produce in timed conditions in a 2-hour paper. This student scored 10 out of 10. I felt that this student answer was well structured. It clearly answered the question set. They had good knowledge of ethical issues, clear understanding of the studies to demonstrate the application of ideas, and additionally we did a bit of peer marking, and students had to identify the AOs, AO1, AO2 and AO3, and this student peers and classmates did comment how logical the answer was. It flowed. Before we finish, just check out the examiner report. It is really useful because it gives you a bit of an insight to how well students performed when answering this question when sitting that exam. So as we can see, for question 5, majority of students are able to identify ethical issues. Some students got confused over which were primary quantitative methods, so make sure that you are familiarising yourselves with those and you know examples of studies. Hint, hint, I've got a video on this. And some students didn't address it at all, and that will impact the application marks. So if you only identify 2 ethical issues and you didn't apply it to an example of a primary quantitative method in any way, shape or form, you probably would have been capped about 3 marks. However, the majority of students did answer this question well, and they were able to link ethical issues to an appropriate study. I just want to draw your attention to the concluding remarks, in particular this final sentence. Generally, more attention to detail in the research methods 10-mark question must be given, and that is just advice given to students and to also schools and colleges that you should spend time practicing 10 markers and even 20 markers on research methods. And just make sure that you can back it up with examples from some of the studies and some of the research that you will have looked at as well. Massive thank you for watching. Hope you found this video useful. Click the like button and subscribe if you've not done so already. This is video number 5 out of 6 for paper 3 2020. Please check them out. I've popped them on a playlist, and there's hundreds of other exam style videos for other topics such as family, education, crime and theory and methods. So please check them out. Have a fantastic day everyone. Take care.